You try to be spiritual. You try to follow the practices and teachings of whatever group or institution you belong to. And you really honestly try, but here you are anyway, depressed. What do you do? Well, I'm Charles Burke, and I help people deal with depression no matter what group they belong to, no matter whether they pray or don't, meditate or don't, or anything else or don't. Okay, so the spiritual people, the people who are supposed to be closer to source, closer to the maker of all things, shouldn't they have an easier life? Shouldn't they have a better life? I mean, that's kind of what's promised, isn't it? And yet, here you are, depressed. So now what? You're ashamed to mention it to the people in your group. You think they would judge you. You think they wouldn't understand. They'd look down on you because this is not the way it's supposed to be. Well, what do you do? What do you do? Well, here's one thing you do. You just accept how you feel and deal with it. The spiritual practices of whatever group you belong to, they're intended for your spiritual growth. And that means plowing through whatever situation you come face to face with, including depression, including fear, despair, despondency, hopelessness, helplessness. Now, I'm being a real ray of sunshine here, right? And yet, your spiritual practices may not have prepared you for this. The thing is, your spiritual practices are preparing you to be stronger, not weaker, preparing you to face and meet and deal with and conquer situations and problems and difficulties and foes and enemies and all the rest. It's not supposed to be teaching you to sweep the crap under the rug, refuse to face the bad stuff, refuse to admit that there is bad stuff. Spiritual practices of any stripe are intended to teach you to accept reality, which is what is. Because face it, to quote somebody from back in the 60s, what is. And what ain't. When you can just accept that, no quibbling about, okay, this is this. And I'm not going to worry about whether it should be or shouldn't be, whether it can be or can't be. No, this is now. What am I going to do about it? Spiritual practices are actually intended not to make you a milky, weak, namby-pamby weakling, afraid to face anything that comes up, because that might not be nice. That might not be holy enough. No, spiritual practices are intended to build up a strong, self-reliant, self-confident, able person with the energy, the drive, the desire, and the determination to just go forward and do it with a carefree heart, because you know you got this covered. You really do. Your spiritual practices, if they are teaching you anything else but this, there's one of two possibilities. Either you need to go back and look at the teachings, or you need to go back and look at your interpretation of those teachings. either of those may be a little bit off. If it's a little bit off, okay, there's just another situation to deal with. No need to get depressed about this either. No need to turn your back, close your eyes, and swear, no, 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 it never happened. No need for any of that. You just go forward and deal with it day by day. You know, spiritual practices they're a lot like surfing. You don't go out and dictate how big a wave is or how small, exactly how it should break, any of that stuff. You go out, you catch the wave that is, you surf the wave that is. And if you wipe out, okay, you swim out again, you catch another wave, and you keep trying, you keep learning, you get better and better, and eventually you are a champion surfer. And it's much the same way with spiritual practices. You become a champion by wiping out, getting up, and trying the next wave, and the next, and the next. I'm Charles Burke, and I help people catch the next wave and surf it the best way they can, ride it out, and be the best spiritual practitioner they can be in whatever discipline they have chosen.